Who is your starter this afternoon for the Highlanders. Again, Harris has made 16 appearances, 7 starts. He's 4-0 on the year. The ERA at 2.86, the whip 1.150. For 34, Logan Harris out of Kingwood, Texas. 6'2", 160-pound freshman. So here we go, and for the Coyotes, it'll be Davis, Martinez, Mazad. If anyone gets on, it will be Salas. We have just exited a 13-inning contest between New Mexico Junior College and Odessa. And here is J.C. Davis to lead things off in this one. 406 hitter, 2 home runs, 34 RBI for the kid out of Argyle. That pitch is through for never mind. It is not. 1 ball and no strikes. Got ahead of myself already, fans. That didn't take long. 1 ball, no strikes to J.C. Davis. Here's the 1-0. That pitch is in there for a strike. And the count moves to 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. J.C. Davis to start things off. Here's the pitch. That is high into the air into left center field, but Harden racing on will make the catch, and Davis is out on a fly out to left. For the first out of the inning, there is 1 gone for Blake Martinez. So Blake Martinez, who wears number 8 out of Allen, Texas, 6'1", 175-pounder, hitting .333 on the year. 3 home runs and 15 driven in for the left-handed hitting Blake Martinez. The pitch. That's a strike on the corner, and the count's 0-1. Our in-booth producer this afternoon is John Allen, our producer back in the studios in Houston, Christopher Tiller. I'm Michael East, TSPN Sports. Hope you enjoy it. 0-2 to Blake Martinez. Don't forget, you can email tspngames@gmail.com. tspngames@gmail.com. You can also email Michael W. at tspnsports.com. Michael W. tspnsports.com. That pitch is up and out to Martinez, and the count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch outside, 2-2. You can also drop us a message via Facebook, TSPN Sports on Facebook, or via X. It is Michael W. TSPN on X. 2-2 to Martinez, the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Martinez is out swinging. There's 2 gone for Trace Mazan. Trace Mazan, who wears number 13 for the Coyotes. Mazan out of Aledo, Texas, 6'1", 190-pounder. And Mazan will bat with the bases empty and 2 out here in the first. 15 home runs, 62 driven in for the kid, hitting .378 coming into today for Weatherford. Here's the wind, the pitch, off the handle, foul ball strike, 0-1. No balls and a strike to Trace Mazan, who bats with the bases empty and 2 out here in the top half of the first. Home plate umpire didn't like the way things were shaking out. He'll reset some things. And now Mazan will come to the plate. The pitch, that is up and in. Good fastball, but he missed. And the count is a ball and a strike to Trace Mazan. So 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. That is high into the air, into shallow center. That will drop. The dying quail single for Trace Mazan is the first hit of the ball game. And there is 1 on and 2 out for Manny Salas. Manuel Salas provided the big blow yesterday when the Coyotes beat the guys from New Mexico Junior College by a score 3-1. It was a Manny Salas 3-run home run in the 6th that would get it done yesterday afternoon. It would be all the Coyotes would need to take a 3-1 win over the Thunderbirds. Salas hitting .378. North Richland Hills, Texas native takes the ball. 1 ball, no strikes to Manny Salas. For Salas, it was home run number 6. RBI number 59, 60, and 61. Pitch outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Manny Salas. So Harris falls behind Salas. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch. That is high into the air, into deep left center field. That ball has legs, and that ball is gone. Manny Salas, a 2-run home run here in the first. He will go the opposite way, will Manuel Salas. And a Manny Salas 2-run home run, and it is quickly 2-0 Coyotes. Wow. So Salas, who hit that 3-run home run against the Thunderbirds yesterday, has jumped the yard against the Highlanders here in the first this afternoon. And it is quickly 2-0 Weatherford. Here's Jake Overstreet. That pitch way up and in to Jake Overstreet. Overstreet, 5'9", 195 pounds, out of Rockwall, the designated hitter this afternoon for Jeff Lightfoot. Here's the pitch. That is up. 2 balls, no strikes. Overstreet, a .345 hitter, 3 home runs, 25 driven in this season for Jake Overstreet. The pitch. That is into the air, into shallow center. Spencer Butt, the second baseman, will give way. As we are right at 90 degrees, the wind out of the west at 10 mile an hour will now push the baseball toward the right field corner. Here in Odessa, we were playing with the wind at dead end when we started here this afternoon. Here's Ashlock, takes a strike, 0-1. Ashlock, a .254 hitter, 9 home runs, 42 driven in for the kid out of Dripping Springs, Texas. No balls and a strike. The pitch. That is up, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mason Ashlock. Here's the wind, the 1-1 pitch. That is a strike. Ashlock tried to lay off, but took it for a strike anyway. And the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ashlock. With the bases empty and nobody out here in the second. The 1-2. Fouled off. The count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Not much to play for. The winner of this thing heads for Grand Junction, Colorado, in the 2025 NJCAA World Series. Ball and 2 strikes to Ashlock. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball toward third. Foul territory. Scooped up by McLeod. But it is a foul ball strike, and the count stays at 1-2 to Mason Ashlock. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Logan Harris working to Ashlock. Number 34 out of Kingwood, Texas. The pitch outside. Count goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Mason Ashlock. Logan Harris comes set in the high set. The 2-2. Ashlock reaches out and just gets a piece of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a tough swing by Ashlock on a good breaking ball, but the idea is to get a bat on it, spoil it, and find something better to hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ashlock. Harris sets the 2-2. That is up, 3-2. So Ashlock will run it full off of Logan Harris as the leadoff batter here in the second. Here's the wind, the payoff. That is looped into shallow right field and just over the head of Spencer Butt. That is a base hit. So Mason Ashlock, a little dying quail single to right for the first hit of the inning, and here comes Caden Mitchell. Mitchell is a .353 hitter. 5 home runs. He's driven in 28 this year as Mitchell. The left-handed hitter will come to the plate. Hails out of Salina, Texas. Former Bobcat. If memory serves me correctly. The pitch. Check swing, but he went. Strike one, 0-1. Good high fastball from Logan Harris. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. And that is up and out from number 34, Logan Harris. Ball and a strike to Caden Mitchell. Harris in the start has thrown 27 pitches. The pitch. That misses. And the count goes to 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Caden Mitchell. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1. Swung out and missed for a strike. Good fastball from Harris. And the count 2-2. Ashlock is at first. He is there with nobody out. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mitchell. Mitchell bounces into the box. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Mitchell out swinging. There is 1 out. And here comes number 4, Uriah Walters. So Uriah Walters will come to the plate. The kid out of Prosper. 6'3", 200-pounder. Out of Prosper, Texas is the sophomore. Hitting .258, 9 home runs. He's driven in 39. Strike. Up at the letters, and the count's 0-1. No balls and a strike to Uriah Walters. Here is the 0-1 pitch. That misses. And the count, a ball and a strike, and LaChance will turn around and say something to the umpire and try to figure out where that was. 1 ball, 1 strike to Walters. Ashlock at first on a leadoff bloop single. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is right through there. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first base, 1 out in the second. Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back our way for a strike, and the count stays at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch outside. And the count goes 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ashlock away from first, the 2-2. That is up and out, 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strike to Walters. Runner at first base, 1 out here in the second. 2-0 lead for the Coyotes. Walters at 3-2. Here's the pitch. That is strike 3, and Walters is out looking. Good pitch from Logan Harris as he nailed it onto the outside corner. Walters is out. There's 2 gone for number 21. This is Caden Bird out of Burleson, Texas. Bird, a .273 hitter, 7 home runs, 39 driven in. As a left-handed hitting right fielder. Will bat with Ashlock at first base. He's there with 2 outs. Bird takes a strike, 0-1. So Ashlock, who knocked that leadoff single, but since then, back-to-back strikeouts for Harris. 0-1 to Bird, the pitch. That is just up. And the count's a ball and a strike, rather. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Caden Bird. Here is the wide and the 1-1. Fouled off the third base side, rather. Counts at a ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 to Bird. Logan Harris looks in for the sign from LaChance. Here's the 1-2. High into the air, into deep center. Back going Smith. He'll go to the track, and he'll make the catch, and the inning is over. So leadoff single will go for naught for the Weatherford Coyotes as we are headed to the bottom of the second on the Ortho Midland. Welcome back as we head to the top half of 3. It is Weatherford 2, McLennan 1 on the Ortho Midland scoreboard. And due up, it'll be Davis, Martinez, Mazan, 1, 2, and 3 for the Coyotes here in their half of inning number 3. So J.C. Davis to lead it off. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. It's a kid out of Argyle. He flew out to left his first time up. So J.C. Davis, the pitch. Down and out for a ball, 1-0. Logan Harris is 42 pitches into his start. Trent Collier is 24 into his. 1 ball, no strikes to Davis. Takes a strike. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. It's through there for a strike. It's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to J.C. Davis. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball back toward the middle. Johnson to his left behind second. No play. And they have ruled that as an error on Sherman Johnson. The official scorers will flash the E onto the board as Johnson got behind it, behind the bag at second, but bobbled it and had no throw. And here comes Blake Martinez, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So the first error of the day will go against McLennan. It is Martinez to the plate. There goes the runner. The pitch is out. Throw down to second is not in time. J.C. Davis sliding to the back side of the bag. It wasn't a bad throw by LaChance at all. But when he short-offed it in there, it allowed Davis to slide to the back door. And Johnson just couldn't bring the tag around that far, that quickly. So Davis will steal second, and now Martinez with a ball and no strikes. Harris, the pitch. Showed bunt, pulls it back, and fouls it down the line into left field. And the count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Blake Martinez. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Beautiful afternoon here at Odessa. No wind at all at the moment. The flags are not even trembling. Ball and a strike to Martinez. Move back to second, but J.C. Davis is back in time. Ball and a strike. One ball, 1 strike. Runner at second base. Nobody out for Weatherford in the third. The pitch showed bunt, bunts it back our direction. That'll be foul. It's 1-2. I still maintain that bunting with these aluminum composite metal bat things, that is a whole different animal than batting with the wood. If you play in the minors or Major League Baseball, getting a bunt down with a wooden bat, considerably an easier task. 1-2 to Martinez. Showed bunt, takes it out, 2-2. I think a lot of times with these bats, it is a crapshoot whether you're going to get a bunt down or not. But I think guys that really can do it with these bats, they're just really good bunters. 2-2, that is bunted foul. And he is out for the second out of the inning. That is a very odd out. You do not see that happen very often, but it is a bunt foul out for the first out of the inning, and there's one gone for Trace Mazan. That is not something you'll see every day. Normally when you see a batter with 2 strikes, you can just put the bunt in your pocket and forget about it, but not today for Jeff Lightfoot and his Coyotes, and here is Trace Mazan. Runner at second, 1 out, the pitch. That's through there for a strike, 0-1. fact, I don't know, 24 years in the booth, and I can tell you I haven't seen that happen maybe but a handful of times. No balls and a strike to Mazan. Here's the wind, the 0-1. That's through there, strike 2, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Davis is at second. He is there with 1 out. The 0-2. That is way up and in. Ball and 2 strikes. Davis reached on an error to open this inning and stole second base, so he is there with 1 out for Trace Mazan. Here is the wind and the 1-2. That is outside. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not a bad idea there by Harris if you can get Mazan leaning out there, but Mazan some discipline staying back on a pitch that never really looked like a strike. 2-2 to Mazan, the pitch. Reaches out, fouls it off, and the count stays at 2-2 to Trace Mazan. Manny Salas is in the on-deck circle. He has hit 2 home runs in this ballpark. Both have been the opposite way. 2-2 to Mazan. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He went up with that fastball. And Mazan is out swinging. There are 2 outs. For Logan Harris, it is strikeout number 5 this afternoon. And here is Manny Salas, who is 1 for 1 with a 2-run home run. And before they face Harris, they are going to have a conversation about Manuel Salas before he comes to the plate. Remind you, you can email us, Michael W. at TSBNsports.com. Michael W. at TSBNsports.com. You can email TSBN Games at gmail.com. TSBN Games at gmail.com. Twitter, it is X nowadays. Michael W. TSBN on X. Michael W. TSBN on X. Or on Facebook, drop us a message, TSBN Sports on Facebook. Wherever you're watching from, we're always thrilled to hear from the fans here at TSBNsports.com. So to the plate, here comes Manny Salas. And they have a discussion with Harris about what they're going to do with this big guy. As Salas has already hit a 2-run home run in this one. He hit a 3-run home run for the Coyotes yesterday. Both the opposite way. The pitch. Outside for a ball. When you have opposite field power, that is something entirely different. Pull power is one thing. The home run Salas hit yesterday was just inside the left field foul pole. 1-0. That is popped up. First, third base side and out of play. It's a ball and a strike. Manuel Salas out of North Richland Hills, Texas. 6 foot, 245-pound sophomore. 1 ball and 1 strike to Salas. Here's the 1-1. That is up and in. Look out. 2 balls and a strike. So 2 balls and a strike. Runner at second, 2 out in the third. 2-1 Weatherford. The pitch. High into the air, down the left field side, but foul. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Salas, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second base, 2 out in the third. Here's the 2-2. Inside, 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. And now we are getting warnings both directions. Salas getting a warning. I believe the other warning. They'll also put a warning on McLennan. That warning may have went on to the McLennan dugout. Salas may have been making some noise and doing a little chirping at home plate. And here comes Jeff Lightfoot down the line. He wants to know what the tail is. And the home plate umpire said, no, we're just warning everybody. I think I'm the only one who didn't get one. I think me and Jonah, we're in the clear. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Salas. Runner at second, 2 out. The payoff. Ball 4. Oh, wow, and LaChance will turn around and say something to the umpire. And Overstreet will come to the plate, first and second and 2 out. I'll be honest with you, I like a little more liberal strike zone. I like to see hitters swinging bats, but that's just me. And I think either one of those could have been strikes, but here's Jake Overstreet, who is 0 for 1. Now the umpire is back out from behind the plate and says that will be a ball. It's 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes to Jake Overstreet. I don't mind the pitch clock as much if there is a visible pitch clock, but 1 ball, no strikes to Overstreet. First and second, 2 out here in the third. The 1-0, the pitch. That is up and in. 2 balls, no strikes. I'll venture to guess that the blood runs a little hot and a little thick between the Coyotes and the Highlanders. 2-0 to Overstreet. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That is a called strike. It's 2-1. And we watched New Mexico Junior College and Odessa earlier, both conference rivals, and you don't quite get that vibe from those two, but you've gotten a vibe of very heated rivalry in this one. 2-1, the pitch. That's a called strike. It's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Up, and he skies it into center. Smith drifting toward the alley will make the catch. And Weatherford will leave a couple standing here in their half of the third. So we are headed to the bottom of 3 this afternoon.